The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who just needs to get to St. Louis. Welcome, Jacob.
But I've already been to St. Louis.
You been to the Arch? You been to the zoo?
Not quite the zoo, but it'd be like you go to a youth conference, it's a zoo.
That's actually very fair.
Yeah, true. Why, thank you. Let me introduce our co-host, a man who was trying to shepherd his beloved girlfriend back to their beloved forest and somehow found themselves in Paris. Welcome, Drew.
But I'm not Christian Bale.
Say what?
From the end of The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
If only I actually could have dated good night. I can't think of her name. There's Catwoman in that.
Oh, gosh.
This girl from the Princess Diaries.
Yes.
Anne Hathaway.
Yes.
If only I was dating Anne Hathaway. But tonight we are reviewing a movie that was from my childhood. Jacob says he might have seen a bit here and there, but it was a VHS that I wore out, and to me is basically most of the Yogi Bear I watched as a kid, and that is the movie Hey There, It's Yogi Bear. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the spoiler-free section of this?
Certified fresh and spoiler-free.
So not only did I well, here's the thing. I know I watched this a ton as a kid. The thing is, I probably have not seen it in 30 years. Maybe 35 years for all I know, because this was a film that was recorded on one of those bootleg VHSs I had back in the day, and I wore that thing out. So I don't know how many times I've watched this film, but I've watched it enough that when after 30 years of not even remembering the film exists, I'm sitting back there in my bedroom of Studio B2 here, on my phone, going through a YouTube reel or YouTube short, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I just saw this clip from this film, and I was hit with a wave of nostalgia. And I was like, oh, I forgot this existed. We need to review it as soon as we can. And we're here about 6 months later to show you how far in advance we try to plan things sometimes.
Exactly.
But yeah, I watched this a number of times when I was a kid, and I forgot about it. It's an okay film. I wouldn't say it's not even a Disney film from this era, if we're being honest.
No,
it's an okay film. It's kind of cheesy, but it's also kind of fun. So I would say, yeah, go watch it. It's a fun little film. Jacob will mention it later, but it's on Amazon. It's on Apple, so. I'm sure you can find it in other locations that I'm not going to mention.
Probably.
But yeah, go watch this film. I didn't even know it was actually called Hey There, It's Yogi Bear until I saw that short. I just thought it's like the Yogi Bear movie. And unfortunately, that could be a reference to another CG movie that we prefer not to talk about.
Maybe some point we will have to watch it.
Maybe some point we'll have to at least reference it.
Yeah. You know what? Now I'm interested. Now I really want to watch and see how bad this was.
The live
the hybridization.
I have no idea. I didn't go watch it because I just had a bad feeling. But anyway, those are my thoughts. What are yours?
Again, as a kid, you're watching, Yogi Bear, the Flintstones, the Jetsons. One of my not earliest memory, but one of my favorite films as a kid was the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. Or the Jetsons, the movie. I had no idea this was existed. I had probably seen this in clips and never realized it because, again, it was playing on Boomerang when I was a kid. Or on ABC afternoons or whatever when you were a kid.
It probably played on the Cartoon Network afternoon movie or something back in the day.
Yeah.
Saturday movie.
Fun fact, I didn't my family did not get internet or at least satellite TV until I was a teenager.
So yeah, it wouldn't have been your first.
No, it wouldn't.
outlet for entertainment at the time.
No. Be like, a lot of it was more like I would go to my grandparents in Louisiana. And they had big satellite, satellite television, and we would watch Yogi Bear and that kind of stuff when we were kids. Boomerang, loved it.
Yeah,
but I probably watched clips of this here and there. I probably recognized some of it, but it just didn't click. It didn't click with me.
Right.
But I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a fun little thing to do a sign off of the original show, which I didn't realize that until yesterday. Overall, I thought it was great. It was fun. And I'd be like, yeah, it's got its little problems here and there. But again, it's a 1960s cartoon for kiddos.
And it was designed to match the animation style of the TV show. So
my parents would have been young teenagers at this point watching this in 1964. So yeah, let's put that in perspective.
Yeah.
My parents are 75 years old.
This is an older one.
Yeah, this is a much older one. We watched older films. We reviewed older films.
Just 2 weeks ago. Cinderella. 50s.
Yeah. No, earlier. We did Popeye.
And we did
was
Popeye earlier this year, too.
Yeah, Popeye earlier. That was in the 30s.
That's not even... I think Popeye might be... I don't remember if Popeye is earlier or if Snow White is earlier.
Have to look at that.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But overall, I thought it was fun. I'd be like, I do have little issues here and there, but overall, I thought it was a fun little film. It is very predictable what's going to happen. It's fun. It's goofy. It's Yogi Bear. Hey. Mm-hmm. And it's like some of it was like,
smarter than the average bear. Yay.
oh my gosh. It's like when I was watching this, I was literally had to stop because I'm overanalyzing the thing. And Drew had to remind me yesterday, it's like, you realize this is just for fun, be like, don't be taken seriously. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't be so critical on this thing.
I mean, I will tell you this right now. This could be described as plot contrivance, the movie.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
But that's the point. Mm-hmm. This is not meant to be some artistic juggernaut of critical acclaim. This is a fun movie to watch in a summer matinee.
Yeah, agreed. But overall, I would highly recommend it. Go rent it somewhere and just watch it. It's $3.99, so it's not terrible. I wish movies go back to $1.99, but
that'd be nice.
Yeah, maybe in the 3 decades, maybe.
Inflation doesn't work that way, but okay.
I know. Either or. So yeah, that is my spoiler-free thoughts.
All right. Well, then why don't we go ahead and jump into the spoiler-filled section of this review?
Yes.
The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film Hey There, It's Yogi Bear.
Hey.
Listener discretion is advised. Hey There, It's Yogi Bear was written and directed by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, who, along with Tom and Jerry and Quick Draw McGraw and Augie Doggy Doggy Daddy, the Scooby-Doo, and probably a good portion of the Saturday morning cartoon lineup that you're familiar with, he's also directed the Flintstones.
Oh, makes
sense. Which technically is not a Saturday morning cartoon. It was a primetime cartoon.
You're right.
Because it was meant to be a family television show. That's why it's very sitcom-y.
That makes sense.
This movie was also written by Warren Foster and is based on The Yogi Bear Show by Hanna-Barbera. Getting into the cast, we've got Dawes Butler as Yogi Bear, Ranger Tom, and an airplane pilot. And he was Barney Rubble in the Flintstones.
Hey, Fred.
Don Messick plays Boo Boo, Ranger John Smith, Ranger Jones, Mugga, Yogi's Conscience, blonde-haired policeman, a TV reporter, and the airport manager. But you might know him better as Droopy.
Or Muttley.
Yes.
Yeah, he was Muttley.
We'll get to that. But I thought Droopy would be more... Anyway.
Yeah, Droopy, but I always think Muttley.
Julie Bennett was the voice of Cindy Bear, and she was Lois Lane in the Superman Aquaman Hour of Adventure.
When was that?
70s.
Oh, okay. Never. I think I've heard of that one, but that's
I kept thinking it had to have been a package show where they did a Superman cartoon and then an Aquaman one. Is maybe like it was two separate ones.
I think it was.
But for whatever reason, IMDb lists it as one show.
Of course.
And I couldn't find her playing Lois Lane elsewhere. So, Mel Blanc was the voice of the Conductor Bear and Grifter Chisling.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And he was Mr. Spacely in the Jetsons.
And everything else.
J. Pat O'Malley played Snively, the other circus guy.
Yes.
And he was Colonel Hathey in the Jungle Book. And Hal Smith was the voice of Cornpone and the Moose. And he was Owl in Winnie the Pooh. Kingdom Hearts connections.
Ah.
How many do you think we have?
I would go a big fat 0. Maybe 1. Maybe.
Any other guesses out there in Chatland? Mm-hmm. In the Cell Nation? I give it to you in 5, 4, 3. Bobo says 0, 2, 1. Oh, Artsy says -1. I don't know how -1 would work, Artsy. But your first guess and Bobo's guess were the correct answer. Big ol' goose egg.
Oh, okay.
0. I tried. I looked everywhere.
Oh, wow.
So what do we got in info and stuff?
All right. So, info and stuff. IMDb has a 4.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has a 13 and audience score of 34. Really, apparently wasn't really that well liked.
I have a bad feeling about this, but continue.
All right. Streaming is available for $3.99 on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, where I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, it's available on HBO Max. You can purchase it on a DVD for $19.99 on Amazon Prime if you have a subscription. Production.
Whoa. I need
Sunscript Entertainment, distributed by Warner Brothers Entertainment.
Hang on.
Runtime was 80 minutes.
You said
Yes.
that it was purchasable on DVD.
Yes.
With a subscription to Amazon Prime. Are you sure you have to have the subscription to Amazon Prime?
Don't you have to have a subscription to Amazon to buy anything on Amazon Prime?
I mean, you can buy stuff on Amazon without having Prime.
Okay.
You can just have an Amazon account without it being a Prime account.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Sorry, that just threw me.
Okay, fair enough.
Continue.
Fair enough. Okay. Production. DeLine Pictures. Sunwipe Entertainment, distributed by Warner Bros. Pictures. Runtime, 80 minutes.
Are you sure this isn't the 2005 CG1 you're reading the stuff on?
Well, I don't know, Yogi. How do you know?
Well, that's the problem. The only reason I think you are feeding me a line, the primary proof I have, is I know for a fact that the original distributor for this film was Columbia Pictures.
Are you sure about that?
And then it went to Turner.
Yeah.
Which is now why Warner pushes it off, because they have the library.
That's a good observation.
But if you actually watch the version on the DVD, it actually has the Columbia logo.
Yes.
Not the version we watched, but... And I'm 95% certain that the Yogi Bear CG one from the early 2000s...
December 10th, 2010.
2010?
Yes.
I'm fairly certain Warner Brothers did distribute that one.
Yes, you did.
So, and plus, let's face it, I can very easily see the ratings you read off going to that movie. I don't know what this one's actual ratings are, but right now, I do not trust you.
All right. So
Micro Paul,
thank you. I appreciate the drop. Thank you. All right. So actually getting into info and stuff, because I actually like doing this. Just wait for Tuesday. That might happen again. Maybe. I don't know. Lord willing, Lord maybe not. I don't know. But here we go. All right. So IMDb has a 6.10 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has an audience score of 57.
That makes more sense.
Thank you. I can't believe I got you that far into this.
No, I was questioning at that point. I just wanted one more little bit of piece of definitive proof.
It should have been more obvious. The line pictures.
Fair enough.
It was
Because it would have been Hanna-Barbera.
It would have been Hanna-Barbera Productions.
Okay, continue.
Haha, I got him.
Continue.
You're welcome. I stumped the Drew.
I want to say I was suspicious, though, when you said 3.5 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't think this movie was that bad.
All right.
I think it's bad, actually.
Yeah. All right. So streaming, yes, you can stream this on Amazon Prime, and to rent for $3.99 and Apple TV for $3.99. That's where I watched it. Production, Hanna-Barbera Productions. Mm-hmm. And that's where I got him.
I think I missed that.
You did.
Because I was questioning
You did.
buying the DVD and having to have Amazon Prime.
Exactly. That's where I threw you.
You knucklehead.
Dirty dog.
You Muttley.
Hold on.
I need to get that laugh on the
Yes,
board.
you do. Yes, you do. All right. Production was Columbia Pictures. Runtime was 89 minutes. Now,
Not that much longer.
not that much longer, but I think it should have been a little about the same length as the 2010 version. It's a little long in the tooth. Or in the picnic basket. All right. Theatrical release was on June 3rd, 1964. Box office. Oddly enough, I don't have the budget of this. I couldn't find it. There was no budget anywhere.
That's not that surprising.
Yeah. All right. So its opening was $414,552 on June 19th, 1936. Apparently, this was a release in 1986. Apparently, when you just copy paste, you're not reading everything. So yeah, no, you think so. Apparently, this movie was re-released in 1986.
It was.
Yeah.
And Turner's the one who released it at that time.
Of course,
Because Ted Turner owned it.
yeah, of course.
That's the entire reason he created Cartoon Network in the first place, was to show all the Hanna-Barbera cartoons he now owned.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it grossed 2.4 million, and its international was the same. Again, this is the early to mid 60s. Mm-hmm. What was it rated in 1964? I couldn't find it.
Approved.
Yeah, approved. That was it.
I think I'll double check, but I don't think it had a rating. Continue.
I just saw something on Twitch that literally said, I think it was Geek Devotion, that said, be like Final Fantasy connection with Yogi Bear. That's scary.
I don't know where you saw that.
Yeah, on Twitch.
I looking at the thing and I don't see that.
No, it was on, I think it was somewhere on Twitch or somewhere. Never mind.
It's rated G.
Okay, rated G. No, I'm talking about its yearly rating in 1964. That's what I'm referring to.
Rated G. I was looking at it right there. It was rated G. Oh, you mean
it's theatrical rating? Be like, what was it? The score of 1964?
Oh.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't. Anyway, you threw me on that one.
I got him all puzzled this time.
Because I'm not following your train of thought.
It's kind of hard to track, keep the train of thought of someone who's ADHD like I do. It's kind of hard to keep track of it sometimes. I can't even keep track of me sometimes.
Anywho.
I look in the mirror, it's like, who's this Cooper? Anyways, home release. The video was released, the film was released on VHS 2 times in the United States in the 1980s by Paramount Home Entertainment and KBC Home Entertainment. Good Times Home Entertainment re-released it in 1992. These releases were used as a part of the 1986 Clubhouse Pictures reissue version. In 2008 on December 2nd, 2008, Warner Home Video released the film on DVD in North America, unlike the concurrent DVD release of other Hanna-Barbera features. the man called Flintstone is blah, 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 blah. It's a really
man called Flintstone.
I've never heard of this.
It was the movie that came out right after this.
Really? Okay.
The second Hanna-Barbera production. In fact, when we did Spy Family, I had our intro clip from that had a sound clip from the opening theme.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a spy movie starring Fred Flintstone.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now that's where I'm recognizing. Okay. The film was released on Blu-ray for the first time under the Warner Archive Collection on May 3rd, 2023. Unlike the previous releases, however, the original Columbia Pictures logo was left intact. So that's all I have for the real info and stuff.
Right. Getting into the summary. Boo Boo wakes up from winter hibernation excited about the new spring.
A bit excited.
Then he goes and wakes up Yogi Bear, who's only interested in finding some food to eat. Cindy Bear unsuccessfully tries to woo Yogi. After Ranger Smith
unsuccessfully.
Oh yeah. After Ranger Smith thwarts Yogi's latest attempts to grab some food, Yogi gets angry and convinces the Ranger to transfer him out of Jellystone National Park. Smith prepares Yogi to be sent to the San Diego Zoo along with an identification tag. Yogi first says goodbye to everything, but tricks another bear named Cornpone into going to California in his place. Boo Boo and Cindy are unaware of this, thinking Yogi has departed for good. Soon, Yogi is stealing food from all over the park under the alter ego, the Brown Phantom. Smith believes the Brown Phantom is a mysterious bear-like vigilante whom the park commissioner hired to replace Yogi. What? I don't remember that line from the movie.
Reread that.
Smith believes the Brown Phantom is a mysterious bear-like vigilante whom the park commissioner hired to replace Yogi. Where was that in the movie?
Yeah, what the fudge?
Wikipedia, you are crazy.
That's what happens when multiple people start write articles on this thing. They don't know how to keep facts straight.
Right, and scares away all the Jellystone goers and gobbles their food up shortly after stealing it.
That's incorrect too.
Mm-hmm.
They're just more baffled. It's like
he does steal food.
I'll get back to that. That is the dumbest plot point.
He does steal food.
Yeah.
He threatens whoever it is to be sent. Ranger Smith threatens whoever it is to be sent to the zoo and comes up with a clever plan to stop the Brown Phantom and save the park, not knowing that it's actually Yogi. Cindy, wishing to be with Yogi at the zoo, angers Smith.
You mean obsessed with him?
Angers Smith into mistakenly sending her away. However, she gets sent to the St. Louis Zoo by train instead, as the San Diego Zoo does not need any more bears. When she realizes her true destination, she gets very sad, crying since she knows that she would be far from Yogi now. Late that night, Cindy falls out of the train and becomes lost. A traveling circus run by the Chiseling brothers.
Bear?
Do what?
You mean not a dead bear? Here's how she came off that train.
That's true.
Continue.
You keep throwing me off in this reading.
You're welcome.
Later that night, I read that part. A traveling circus run by the Chiseling brothers is looking for a great act to raise their ratings when suddenly their dog Mugger runs off and scares Cindy into walking on the telephone wires. The perfect act to save their circus. Yogi has recently missed Boo Boo and above all Cindy. On his way back to talk to Ranger Smith, Yogi finds that Cindy has gone missing on the way to the St. Louis Zoo. Ranger Smith, wanting to send Yogi back to the San Diego Zoo, is locked in a closet while Yogi and Boo Boo escape from Jellystone to find Cindy. After an extensive travel, Yogi and Boo Boo locate Cindy, who is being kept prisoner, forced to perform her high wire act for the Chiseling Brothers Circus, which is doing much better now. As Yogi confronts the manager, Grifter Chiseling, he is tricked into joining Cindy in her cage, where Grifter tells him he's now in showbiz. Boo Boo releases Yogi and Cindy, and they make their exit. Meanwhile, Ranger Smith decides to let them find their way home to avoid trouble with the park commissioner. As Yogi, Cindy, and Boo Boo make their way home, they crash a barnyard party, somehow escaping afloat a river on with the barn's door. Then, while Cindy and Yogi dream about a honeymoon in Venice, they find themselves suddenly being chased and hunted by the police, as they somehow become fugitives, but making their escape. They hitch a ride in a moving van, but find themselves in the middle of New York City and make a run from the police to the top of a hotel and across to a high-rise under construction. The next morning, Ranger Smith sees the three bears on television and decides to rescue them in a helicopter. With all the commotion having made great publicity for Jellystone, Ranger Smith gets promoted to Chief Ranger by the park commissioner in gratitude while bringing all three bears back to Jellystone, where they promise to be good bears from now on.
Yeah, that's a joke. Like, maybe Boo Boo, like, Cindy.
Boo Boo's not a bad bear.
No, Cindy's just gonna be a lovesick,
Cindy's just lovesick for Yogi, and Yogi's hungry.
Yeah, Yogi's just a thief. That's all he is.
Getting into the trivia for this episode, or for this movie, the first theatrical feature. This is the first theatrical feature from Hanna-Barbera Productions. Mugger, the Chisling brothers' snickering dog, later became Muttley in the TV series Wacky Races, and Dastardly and Muttley in their Flying Machines. This is the first animated theatrical film based on a television series. This is the first Hanna-Barbera film distributed by Columbia Pictures instead of UPA, who expired the contract and began releasing TV cartoons from 1959. Of course, the film is now owned by Warner Brothers. The singing bears in the boxcar scene were billed as the Beartles in advertising publicity to cash in on the success of the Beatles in 1964.
Okay, that makes sense.
The year of this film's release. The Bears' song St. Louis was actually performed by a group known as Jonah and the Wailers.
Oh, okay.
When the cartoon studio at Warner Brothers closed in 1963, many of its animators moved to Hanna-Barbera to work on this film. During the song Veni, Veno, Vene, when they're in Dream Venice, Boo Boo says, "Gee, Yogi, you sing just like James Darren." To which Yogi responds, "And that ain't easy."
Who?
James Darren.
Who is that?
Well, he was an actor, TV director, and singer that was popular at the time. That was actually singing Yogi's singing voice. In that song.
Okay. That explains that conundrum.
But I primarily know him as playing Vic Fontaine, the holographic crooner in Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Of course.
He was in like 8 episodes.
Oh, okay.
And was very memorable. That brings me to the end of the trivia. Jacob, what's your first like for this film?
My first like of this film would be it's good animation for its time period. Again, it'd be like it's nothing fancy. It'd be like they had some really good stuff come out in the 60s. Again, this is not Disney work from the 1960s. Be like it's Hanna-Barbera, and that's what you want from Hanna-Barbera. You want this very kind of more simplified animation that's just funny. And that's what I enjoyed about it. It was more simplified animation. It didn't have to be much. Like, it was good for what it was. And the time period it came out. What is your first like?
Kind of similar to yours. I like that this is a film that's just a fun film. It's not meant to be thought about too hard. It's not even meant to be taken that seriously. It's just meant to be a good popcorn muncher, kind of sing along if you happen to know the songs kind of movie. It's the animation style or the animation on the characters is still the same animation they were using in the TV show from 1962. One of the bigger differences, though, is that the backgrounds are a lot more they're a lot better looking than they were back then.
Okay, makes sense.
In many ways, it's a very pretty film, especially in some of the shots of Jellystone Park. But if you're going into this expecting even something like The Jungle Book, which is like the closest thing I can think of to what this is, in terms of visuals, mostly.
There's a bear.
There's bears, yes. It's in the woods. You're not getting that.
No.
But at the same time, this is actually a still fun little film. It's good. It is. I hate to say it's non-offensive because that sounds like I'm struggling to come up with things I like about this film. but it's a good film. It's just not a heavily artistic film.
No.
And I kind of appreciate it just being a fun, kind of turn your brain off film.
Fair.
Without it being like super actiony.
True.
What's your second like?
My second like is kind of along those same lines. There's something that you said yesterday that kind of reminded me of it. It's not to be taken serious. It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Be like, it is the follow-up to a 1962 very classic TV series that is supposed to round up or follow up, or what?
It's technically a follow-up. I don't know if they were just not planning on having another TV series after this, because they ended up not having another one until like the 80s. Outside of, the stuff they shoved Yogi Bear into
movies and whatever
around the rest of the time, because Hanna-Barbera had so many crossover shows.
Yeah, that's true. But I literally, to be transparent, be like, I watched this and I paused it every stinking 5 minutes, getting frustrated with like, this is so dumb, this is so stupid. Like, oh my gosh, like, really, these people are idiots. What in the world? And then Drew had to remind me, like, hey, it's a cartoon. Don't take it too seriously.
That is the thing about this film.
Yeah.
It is meant to be a follow-up of the TV show, which itself is another flavor of what Hanna-Barbera was doing with all its other TV shows at this time.
Yes.
Which was basically Hanna-Barbera making their version of Looney Tunes.
Yes.
And there's about that much... I'm not saying there wasn't artistic merit in those.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not meant... A lot of times they're just being funny to be funny.
Yeah, fair.
Yogi Bear is... If you're following the artistic lines, this is basically the next step in Tom and Jerry.
True.
It's not as violent as that, and definitely not as animative expressive, because they had to use limited animation in Yogi Bear because it was TV and they had no money, unlike when Hanna-Barbera were doing Tom and Jerry. But it's not meant to be this big artistic message.
Fair.
If it's got a message, it is... Yeah, it's fun to go out, but ain't it fun to come home? Basically.
Fair.
There really is no other... The theme is basically, don't feed the bears, but be aware if you do that, they're going to take over the United States somehow.
Or go on a wacky adventure.
I will say, a lot of films normally that you see like this nowadays would be like the Minions films, except those are more brain rotty than this. I would say that's not a dig. It's just this was meant to be funny for everyone, not just funny for the kids.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's my first like. What's yours?
Or your second like.
Second like. What's your second like?
My second like is this met my nostalgia. Like I said, I watched this movie probably 100 times when I was a kid, and then didn't see it for 30 years. But the minute I turned it on and I saw those pine trees in the opening sequence, I knew what I was there. I knew where I was. I had memories of this film. Like, I knew what was going to happen, even though I couldn't remember what was going to happen, if that makes sense.
That does.
And there's so many films that I have seen on this show and outside of the show that were stuff I watched when I was younger that did not meet the nostalgia where I knew it to be. Granted, a part of that is because I hadn't thought of this film in 30 years, so I really didn't know where to think of it other than I knew it was a Yogi Bear thing and it was meant to be fun. But it was just so... It was just... I had a smile on my face. Unlike you, I had a smile on my face the whole time I was watching this film, just because it was a fun look back at my childhood.
I would not say I didn't have a smile. I mean, I had like a smirk. It was like, that was kind of funny.
Now, that being said...
Until I realized, well, okay, don't take it too seriously, Jacob.
Yeah. I'll admit, I was afraid after we got to Cindy falling off the train. I was thinking, maybe I should text Jacob and give him a heads up that not to take this movie too seriously. Because I was already telling this was going to be plot contrivance, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But these are people who are used to making short form cartoons, making a feature length film. They do what they can.
Yes.
So yeah, I liked that this met my nostalgia. It didn't blow me away with any artistic thing, but it also wasn't disappointing. And there's not that many films I can say that about.
Fair.
What's your third like?
My third like, if I don't choke over here, I actually learned a word watching this movie. Like a word that would only be used more categorically from its era.
I mean, if you had only watched sitcoms from the 60s, like me and Ashley keep telling you to.
Yeah, I didn't.
You might have run across this word before.
Probably. I probably heard it before, didn't understand it. So the word CAD. So when
Not computer-aided drafting.
No, not computer-aided drafted. Because that's when I first wrote it. What does that mean? It's like, no, what did it mean in the 60s? So, like, when Yogi Bear he's confronting
Ranger Smith.
Sorry, I'm terrible with names. With Ranger Smith about where Cindy went. And it's like, oh, this. And he calls him a CAD. And it's like, what in the world is a CAD? And so I actually go look it up. Again, my parents were teenagers back in the 60s. Mm-hmm. So a CAD is someone who is dishonest, who is very disrespectful towards women. And I'm thinking like, wait a second. He's just doing his job and now you're whatever. But it was more I didn't know what that word meant. It was like, what's a CAD? So I had to look it up. And it's like, oh, okay. It was a slang from the 1960s. I didn't know that.
I would say Yogi used the word correctly because Ranger Smith did tell the Bears and this was after he had quote unquote sent Yogi to the San Diego Zoo
with an ID tag.
Oh, shipping tag.
Yeah, I thought it was an ID tag, not a shipping tag.
It does say Destination San Diego Zoo. I think it's meant to more be. This is the bear you got to pick up, and this is where he's going.
Oh, okay.
Cindy didn't have one of those tags.
No, she didn't.
But she, as far as she knew, from what we saw, she thought she was going to the San Diego Zoo. Yeah. Because she literally heard San Diego Zoo and said, "Oh, that's where Yogi is." Mm-hmm. And then she gets the idea. It's like, oh, if I misbehave, I'll get sent to where Yogi is. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to get to him. Yeah. But then in the next scene, when she's in the truck and Ranger Smith and Boo Boo are watching her go, and Boo Boo says, well, at least she'll get to be with Yogi in San Diego. And Ranger Smith says, I didn't send her to San Diego.
He didn't tell her.
He didn't tell her she wasn't going to San Diego. She's going to St. Louis. She had to wait till the Bears on the train told her she was going to St. Louis. Right. I'd say that's pretty disrespectful and very cad-ish of Ranger Smith. Because he told Yogi where he was going. He didn't tell Cindy where she was going.
Right. Yeah, because Cindy only made the assumption she was going to San Diego.
That's what she was told.
Okay, what she told them?
Ranger Smith was making the announcement that any other bears seen misbehaving were going to be sent to the San Diego Zoo.
I thought it'd be like...
He did specifically call that out.
Oh, okay. Be like...
I double-checked.
Oh, okay. Because I was under the assumption that he said, he's going to sit off, just like Yogi, and he's sent to a zoo. He'd be like what I remember him saying. Now, I do clearly remember, after you saying that, that he did say San Diego.
We are brushing up against one of my dislikes, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, either or. What is your third dislike?
My third like is the backgrounds throughout this entire film.
Fair.
Jellystone National Park looks absolutely gorgeous throughout the entire sections we're there. The New York part looks good. They had great backgrounds. There's great backgrounds throughout the circus and all the different parts. Even in the songs, the backgrounds were nice. There was never this point where it felt like I was we're watching a movie where most of the animation is on 2s,
Yeah.
if not 3s, and it's using the limited animation style of Saturday morning cartoons, so it already has a cheap feel to it because it probably didn't have a lot of budget.
Yeah, it looks
in reality.
it looks like a watercolor background.
But the backgrounds are all watercolor and absolutely gorgeous, and it's the one thing that makes this look like a feature film, besides it being, an hour and a half long.
Yeah. Or it could be gouache.
Either way, that's absolutely gorgeous. It's I would hang any of those backgrounds in this apartment as a
That is
picture,
true.
as a painting. Any one of them. But so yeah, my third like actually is the backgrounds throughout this film. But now we need to get to our dislikes.
Yes.
I have a feeling you have a couple.
I do, actually. Okay. My first, not trying to take this movie seriously. Because, again, it's a Yogi Bear cartoon. Not to be taken seriously. This park irritated me. Let's be real. It's not a rip master whatsoever. It's just one of those things that irritated the snot out of me.
Hovering over the button.
Of course. So, Yogi Bear says, I'm going to San Diego to this other bear in his former cave. And he starts, I need my sunglasses. All of a sudden, he starts saying this, I'm going to be a movie star, blah, 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 blah. And the other bear is like, hey, I'll trade with you. You can just keep this cave. What have you? Okay. And so, the other bear goes off, was probably told, hey, this is supposed to be Yogi. Was never told that. So, Ranger Smith makes the assumption Yogi left.
Yeah.
So, Yogi pulls a smart one, which Yogi's an okay of a smart bear. He's not exactly the brightest bear in the planet, but he's smart enough to get himself more in trouble.
But he is smarter than the average bear.
Who goes after picnic baskets and hasn't got him shot yet.
But he does have a lot of good. He does a pretty good job of of taking care of things, probably more than any other bear would run into.
True.
He just keeps getting outsmarted by Ranger Smith.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
the
formula of Yogi Bear.
That's the formula. But if you're the smartest bear, why do you keep getting caught by the ranger?
Because he lets
it's the plot of the movie.
No. He lets his pride get him in the end.
That is true.
It's look at that first time where he's doing the phony food inspector thing.
Yeah.
He already has a stack.
Oh yeah,
of food.
Yeah.
If he had just
when it was fair.
Maybe when it was just maybe not much, he had just taken that food and walked off, he'd have gotten away with it, and Ranger Smith wouldn't have known because Ranger Smith was stuck in traffic.
That is true.
The whole training ants to collect the food from the picnic, granted, that's a little stupid, but it did work until Ranger Smith walked up on him because Yogi Bear was laying back and not paying attention to his surroundings and didn't see Ranger Smith walk up on him.
Fair. I do see that. Here's my problem with that. Is the fact Yogi I'm just going deeper in the woods. Okay. Let's go deeper in the woods. And so hey, I'm gonna become the Phantom the bear Phantom.
Brown Phantom.
Whatever. Brown Phantom. And and I'm just gonna go and grab a picnic basket and swoop back out into the deep in the woods.
It seems to work.
But
a lot.
So here's the problem. This is where my logic brain goes, what the fudge? Okay. So logically, most of the time, when you have people who come into a park like Jellystone or its real life counterpart, Yellowstone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Most of these people, they come every year. Every year. Most likely they're going to recognize a bear, right? Again, a cartoon, I get it. But the fact that no one realizes it's Yogi Bear, even though they see him clear as day with his little green hat and his little collar that doesn't have a shirt and his little berry green tie.
I mean, that's there just so that the animators didn't have to draw necks.
I'm aware.
and animate necks.
I'm
It's
aware.
the entire reason it's there.
The problem is everybody's convinced, even Ranger Smith, who knows, it just baffles me to no end. Again, it's cartoon logic, I get it, but at the same time, they are
Okay.
Let me finish.
I think. Go ahead.
So Yogi Bear is allegedly gone, but somehow this brown phantom has shown up who looks exactly like Yogi, but yet no one's putting the two. This is not a Clark Kent Superman thing.
Okay.
He hasn't changed anything. He's just Yogi, and he's a different part of the woods. That's it. How in the world do you mix this up?
May I?
Okay, did he put glasses on? No.
May I?
Sure.
Okay.
I got my rant out of the way. You may go.
Ranger Smith didn't go out to see who the brown never actually saw who the brown phantom was.
And here's another thing.
He never went out to search for the brown phantom until the bear in the icebox thing.
Okay, fair. So how
The other rangers may not be people who stay at the park or maybe had to deal with Yogi that much and may just know that there is a brown bear stealing food. And in most cases, Yogi may be escaping before the rangers are even seeing him. So they're going off of what the park guests are telling them.
Yes.
And this is a world where humans and bears can talk to each other and understand each other.
Yes.
So, and every time Yogi's coming in, he's saying the brown phantom as he comes and gets stuff. So that's what they're reporting is stealing their food. The brown phantom. It's some bear. It's in the park. Yes, you're right. There are probably many. Actually, I would say that may not be right. That there may be guests who should be recognizing Yogi.
Exactly.
No, I don't think there would be any guests who would recognize Yogi.
Okay.
Because here's why.
Okay. I'd love to hear
Jellystone, and we're in agreement that Jellystone and Yellowstone are analogs to each other, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Roy.
How many times have you been to Yellowstone?
I've never been to Yellowstone.
I've been once.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the thing. Most of the tourists who go to Yellowstone have probably only been there a handful of times. I would be willing to bet the locals don't go that often. And probably also willing to bet, considering where, and here's the other big thing. Do you know how far from civilization Yellowstone National Park is?
Pretty far.
It's in the middle of bloody nowhere. Okay?
I get it.
You have to drive 3 hours from Casper, Wyoming to get there.
Yes.
It is in the middle of nowhere, and I'm assuming the same is true of Jellystone.
Because it's located in the same place.
It's in the middle of blanking nowhere, and granted, you look at the map, it is different than the actual map of Yellowstone, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, general location.
Right. Because I think technically the way they designed Jellystone, it's a mixture of Yellowstone and Yosemite.
Okay.
But that's all being beside the point.
Yes.
I would be willing to bet that most of the park guests that Yogi dealt with as the Brown Phantom may have been unaware that there was a bear stealing food in a comical way. Now, the better question is, along with the do not feed the bear signs, why was there not a wanted poster saying, especially this one don't feed? Keep an eye out for this one. He's wily. If there was I could follow your train of thought and agree with you. But I would be willing to bet that 90% of the park guests at Jellystone National Park may be completely unaware of Yogi Bear prior to seeing him on the news at the end of the film.
Okay, I can agree with you to an extent. Yeah, I'm going to counter it, though. The fact be like, I know many people that go to parks on a regular basis. They visit the exact same park probably every year around the same time because they enjoy the environment.
I agree.
They would
camping
be
many
accustomed
times
to seeing certain bears be like, oh, I saw Yogi Bear. He stole our pie. And now all of a sudden, this bear who's yelling, who looks like Yogi Bear. Again, these are regular park guests.
First off,
Let me finish.
I do think we're overthinking this.
Oh, we are. But it's fun. The fact be like, oh, because Yogi Bear just yells out Brown Phantom. just because he yells it out and people just are convinced because he hears them yell. They hear him yell, Brown Phantom. Again, that makes me think brown bear. Guess what?
He is a brown bear.
No, he's not. If
He is a bear and he's brown.
Hold on.
Unless you're going to say he's a grizzly bear.
He's technically a grizzly bear.
Okay, but here's the other thing.
Okay. Unless it's based in Alaska. It's the only place you find brown bears in North America.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
I want you to picture yourself in the woods somewhere.
Okay. Been there. Done that.
You wake up in the middle of, or you're making lunch.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, a brown grizzly bear walks into your campsite.
It starts talking.
Okay. It's standing up, which is going to, scare you crapless in and of itself because it's a giant predator who can eat you.
That is true.
2, it talks. An animal that talks is going to scare the living daylights out of anybody. And you're expecting any of these park guests, especially the one that found a bear in her icebox, to have the sense to know that that's the famous Yogi Bear who's not supposed to be here. All they know is there was a bear who stole my food and left, and I didn't get a good look at him.
I would say this.
I understand what you're thinking with the green hat and tie should make him stick out like a sore thumb. Yeah. I'm saying, have you never panicked before?
I have panicked
because
before.
all of these guests would have panicked seeing a bear coming and stealing their food.
Okay, let me counter that, Ravaz. Okay,
so say people. John Smith is only calm around Yogi because he knows Yogi.
Okay,
the others don't.
Okay, so the fact be like Yogi Bear most likely is probably the mascot of this fair establishment.
Is he?
Probably.
Then why did Ranger Smith ship him off to San Diego?
I don't know. Because
to my knowledge, this Jellystone Park does not have a mascot.
Okay.
Not until the 2000s, when Jellystone apparently franchised its licensing and put Yogi Bear's face all over the United States of America.
Fair.
Because there are Jellystone parks all across the United States of America.
There are.
RV camping.
Oh gosh, yeah, go look it up. But I mean, like, just where I'm going to stand in my statement, I'm going to stand for it, is the fact to be like, you have campers who go every year during the spring because they love it during the spring, and so at that point they're going to get used to a bear showing up. So, it's like, oh, we got nabbed by Yogi again. We're going to call Ranger Smith again. He did it again, and now all of a sudden be like, oh, Yogi's supposed to be gone, but all of a sudden be like the same bear who shows up just swinging and yelling, I'm the Phantom, the Brown Phantom. Makes no sense. Again, logic we're going here. It doesn't make any sense, but still, I like this little
May I
run.
make this logic make sense to you? May I?
By all means.
It's the formula of the show. He's smarter than the average bear.
Not really.
He's... Just because you see it coming, you also have all the clues to know it's coming. What your problem with this film is that Yogi is being smarter than most of the other bears we see in this movie. I know that is what your problem is.
No. The fact
and things go his way because he's got the devil's luck.
It's called plot convenience.
It's called Saturday morning cartoons.
I'm aware.
And I know plot convenience annoys you to no end, but it's not saying that the logic of this movie doesn't make sense. It's just saying you disagree with the plot conveniences of this film.
It was one of those things like, what in the world is going on? Because I'm thinking like, what? It's not a Clark Kent thing.
Do me a favor, Jacob.
What?
Do not go back and watch Saturday morning Hanna-Barbera cartoons because you'll hate all of them because they're all written like this. Scooby-Doo is written like this.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm not saying that. I'm
But
just
you're
saying,
complaining about it.
I'm complaining about this one little thing that was just drove me nuts.
It drives you nuts in everything because you hate that things happen to go that way because of plot demands, or because that's just makes the thing flow smoother. If you can't see it happening in real life, it can't be real.
This was a fun little bit. Just the point that we're arguing over this thing back and forth is great. But it's like, okay, yeah, so it was the brown phantom kind of bothered me a little bit.
So in
And
honor...
I do appreciate Drew's arguments, counter-arguments, counter-argument, counter-arguments.
With both of us going back and forth on this, I'm afraid we have earned this.
Rentmaster activated.
This audio clip owned by Nate Marchand of the Monster Island Film Vault. For more information, please go to monsterislandfilmvault.com.
He's not Clark Kent Bear.
Nobody said he was. He's not Secret Squirrel. Or Hong Kong Phooey.
Again, I'm not saying I don't. I mean, like, I actually like this film a little bit. Like, it's actually kind of a fun film. I'm just saying this one little bit kind of bothered me a little bit.
So,
anyways,
my first dislike of this film.
Yes.
My first dislike of this film. And this is definitely a nitpick, and I admit that, unlike you.
I'm saying it's a nitpick.
You never said it until just now. But my
nuance.
So there are a number of points throughout this film where there is plot holes. Or
are you sure they're plot holes?
Not plot holes necessarily, but more continuity errors.
Continuity errors. Oh, okay.
Or things are said kind of odd. The big one is at the beginning of this film, Ranger Smith's business card says that he is Chief Ranger of Jellystone National Park.
Yes, he is.
He even responds as Chief Ranger. He says it multiple times, Chief Ranger of Jellystone National Park. At the end of this film, the commissioner of the park promotes him to Chief Ranger of Jellystone National Park. Well, then what was he before?
That's a good question. It made no sense when he said it.
It's a continuity error.
It is very much continuity error.
Right. And there's a lot of things that feels like...
But there's no cotton in this movie.
There's a lot of continuity in this movie.
Cotton.
I didn't say anything about cotton.
It sounded like you said cotton.
Continuity.
Ah. But I never saw any cotton.
Slap, slap, slap.
You're welcome.
There are... Granted... It's a cheap film from the 60s. Much like you, I probably should not put too much into it. But it was just kind of that weird thing. It's like, that's a continuity error because how could he get promoted from Chief Ranger to Chief Ranger? That didn't make any sense.
True.
And admittedly, there is one... No, not even really that. Oh, there's the simple fact that Chief Ranger Smith overnight flew a helicopter.
Yes.
From the western side of Wyoming to New York City overnight, no stops. Or most likely no stops.
Allegedly.
First of all, I really doubt that helicopter has that big a fuel tank. And secondly, even if it did had an infinite fuel tank, I somehow doubt that helicopter could fly from one side of this country to the other overnight. Because it ain't a jumbo jet. It's a helicopter,
and it was the 1960s.
It's a helicopter that's designed to fly around the park. So the park ranger can check on wildfires and things like that. It's not meant to be up in the air for probably more than 2, maybe 3 hours. Right?
Right.
And he can fly it to New York. and then he and 3 bears can fit in it to fly back. And this is before you get into the fact that and granted, I can go with Yogi does not know directions outside of the park. None of the bears do. That's partly why they're getting lost. But I'm assuming that because of just where things are, that this is either taking place in Colorado, or most of this movie is taking place in Colorado or Kansas, or maybe South Dakota, because it never says where outside the park they are, but they're obviously in the pasture area because they can't get Cindy falls off the train long before the train goes to St. Louis, and of course Yogi never goes to San Diego, so there's somewhere between Jellystone and St. Louis that kind of tells me Colorado or Kansas. And you're telling me that truck was able to go from the middle of the country to New York City overnight? Once again, I don't think that's actually possible. Part of the reason I know it's not possible is because you can't even get across Texas in one day. Not comfortably.
Right.
Retro, it was not Hawaii. So, yeah, like I said, it's just like this is a nitpick. There's just weird continuity errors.
Okay. So
that
go ahead.
Stick in my head.
Fair. And you were complaining, talk about Brown Phantom.
Nothing I was complaining about went against the spirit of the show it was based on. Unlike you, that was really fighting the fact that Yogi wasn't smarter than the average bear. Yay!
All right, so fun fact. When it comes to flying from New York, I'm more using the Yellowstone National Park as our guide, to New York.
I'm sure there is a plane that goes from Jackson Hole, the closest airport to Yellowstone, to one of the 2 New York City airports.
All right. So,
and I'm betting it can do it overnight because it's a jet.
Anyways, fly by helicopter from Yellowstone National Park to New York is not a standard commercial service.
No kidding.
It will require a private charter spreading over 1,800 miles, requiring multiple refueling stops. Typically even 2.5 to 5 hours, and roughly 10 to 15 plus hours flight time. So we're talking about 10 hours of flight time, multiple refuels, and this is in 1960.
And you've got roughly 8 hours to get there before Yogi and Boo Boo and Cindy wake up.
Yeah.
Because the helicopter landing is what wakes them up.
Yeah, because, again, it's a cartoon. That's why you got to put your mind to it. But at the same time, it's stupid logic.
It's cartoon logic.
Yeah.
Let it go. Make like Elsa and let it go.
Row. Brown Phantom.
Do you have any other dislikes?
I do, actually.
Because I don't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because those nitpicks were all I could come up with.
Okay. So my second dislike of this film, again, once I realized what they were doing, it was like, okay, that just threw me for the biggest loop, was they were in Paris while in the South. It just threw me for the biggest loop. I was what?
Venice.
Okay, Venice.
And it was a dream.
Okay, it was a dream.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to know how I know that?
Okay, so Boo Boo just ran up, these...
Do you want to know how I know this? Because it makes sense.
Okay.
They're going down whatever river that is on the barn door.
Yes.
Granted, that's already a lot to take in.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Boo Boo got the pole in there making sure the door keeps going down the river. Because apparently they must be going upstream.
So they're Jack and Rose, but on a different door.
Just proving that there was enough room. And
no,
Sheila
there wasn't actually.
I haven't watched the movie. I don't know.
There wasn't. I've watched the documentary about it. It doesn't work.
My suspicion on that is there might have been room if they had gotten up on that door at the same time.
Nope.
But there definitely wasn't room for him to crawl up there after she was already up there.
Nope.
But
They both would have drowned.
Cindy does say, if you close your eyes, you can imagine that this is that we are in Venice, and that Boo Boo is our gondolier, and that we're in a big gondola, and that there's a sweet in the distance. There's a song in the distance, and then Yogi says, maybe not so far, and then he starts singing the song.
Okay.
That is actually dialogue from the movie.
Okay.
And they actually show the transition.
Apparently, I blinked and forgot this part. So
You
never
were
mind.
probably going, why are they on a barn door floating down a river? There's no way I could have. I'm messing with you, dude.
I'm aware. Anyways.
And in your defense, you have already admitted that you had to pause the film multiple times to get through the logic that you were having trouble with. I won't say you weren't following, but you were having trouble with, and your frustrations with the movie. By the time you get to that part, I was
overthinking it.
I could see how you might have missed this one scene.
Probably.
And just looked at him and go, why are they in Venice?
Okay. So there's another one. Okay. Be like,
You can pull off retro in a minute. Finish your current one.
okay. So my current one, it was more apparently be like, I miss a scene. And then the next thing I know, be like, they're floating down the Venice River. And I was like, what in the world is going on?
No, streets of Venice, but whatever.
Whatever. It's a river.
Technically, it's an island and there's no rivers on the
Whatever.
island, but it's Venice.
It's all water.
3.5, too much water.
Shut up. And Christian Love. Shut up. And from a movie you probably didn't like so much.
Continue. I don't even know what you're referencing, but continue.
Or to quote the full quote, shut up. Get back to work.
Well, you just do your third dislike and let's move on.
All right, so again, this is a nitpick. Again, these are all nitpicks. This has been fun, let's be honest. All right, my third dislike is, again, this is Hanna-Barbera. It's limited animation. So you see 3 George Jetsons the entire film.
They had limited character designs.
I know. That's why I said that.
You know, you want another brain teaser? Not brain teaser, but another one of those?
Because George Jetson hadn't been created yet.
No, he had. We figured that out last night, remember?
That's true.
Grifter, the head of the circus, that was always, pain in the neck.
Yeah. Shut up. This was my idea.
You know he's not that distant in character design from Mr. Spacely, also voiced by Mel Blanc.
You're not kidding. You're not kidding.
And he's sitting right there next to George Jetson character design.
That is true.
While Muttley's sitting in between them. There ain't an original design in that truck.
Well, but like some of the
except Muttley, because that was
Muttley's a new design.
Mugger is technically new. His design would be reused with a recolor as Muttley, as we more commonly know him.
Yeah, a green dog or a blue dog. Yeah,
gray.
Very suspicious.
Does the same laugh that Muttley does.
Rotten.
No, we didn't get to hear him do that, but it's still Don Messick.
That is true. He still bites people.
It's the same voice actor who plays Muttley. So.
That is true. But like, I really enjoyed that, but I think it was just more like, okay, just the reuse of assets, and it's like, okay, I understand why. But it's like, but I saw 3 George Jetsons the entire movie. I was like, okay, nitpick over.
So we need to rate this movie.
Yes.
I'm giving it a 7.
You're giving it a 7.
The movie is fine. This is nothing to write home about. It's meant to just be a good, fun popcorn muncher Saturday matinee film. It's not meant to be as overthought as we both have done. Mm-hmm. And for that, I can forgive the little issues.
Yeah.
Here and there. I can kind of let it go. A lot of this is me. A lot of The one dislike I had was because I need a dislike. I got to come up with something because the movie does not bother me at all. Because anything that might bother me that would come up here, in this one, I forgive because it's quirky. It's part of its charm.
Fair.
It works with what this is because this is a Hanna-Barbera movie from the 60s that was made with a very small budget. It did the best it could. It's with what it does, with what it had to work with. It actually does a fairly good job. It's nothing special, but it's still a fairly halfway decent film. It's a 7. It is passing. It is fun, and there is absolutely nothing really wrong with it.
You said put 7.5 or 7.5?
7.
7. Okay.
7 is kind of my it's okay.
Yeah. All right. So
it's okay. I would watch again.
Okay. I'm gonna pull a certain person who's in the chat. It's a 3.5. It drove me crazy.
Okay.
Not really. I'm kidding. I actually enjoyed it. I was debating. It's like because Retro's in the. It was like what? I'll give it a 3.5 just for giggles, but I'm not. I actually really enjoyed the film. It was a lot of fun. I did take it way too seriously at first, and then after the chat that night before, it's like okay, Bill, I get it. I can still have fun with this, and look at some of the logical inconsistencies to me, and drive Drew nuts with them. But yeah, it's a 7. It's a good film. It's definitely something like you might watch again if it's be like streaming somewhere or something like that. It'd be like, I might watch that again. And plus the songs were fairly good.
They were catchy.
Yeah. The plot convenience again drove me nuts, but still.
But that's an ongoing issue with you.
That is true.
Well, on that note, our next film. We're not reviewing on next Friday.
No,
we're
we're
reviewing on next Tuesday. It is special crossover episode with Roy and his 3.5 self, along with PaulJPowers.com. The Retro Rewind podcast will be reviewing The Lion King. So join us Tuesday night at 8 p.m. if you're hearing this before the live stream is out to on either our channel or Retro's channel, either one.
Be prepared.
Oh, there might be a special thing in the audio version of our show. So definitely be prepared for that.
Oh gosh. We're gonna get serenaded by Drew most of it.
I mean, technically, if you're subscribed to us on TikTok, you've already heard it.
Oh gosh.
But anyway,
apparently I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, you have.
Okay, well, never mind.
But if you've forgotten it, I'll show it to you after.
Okay, then.
In the meantime, play some bumpers, and we'll talk about Batman.
Okay.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
This week, we suggest checking out Geek Devotions. Geek Devotions is a collaboration of devoted geeks that are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I beat you, Retro. I did it the first try. They produce a weekly geek culture-infused devotional, their podcast, Com Talk, and written articles, all designed to encourage and challenge people in their geek communities, bridging the gap between their faith and their geekdom. So you can find all their content at geekdevotions.com. The Cellcast would also like to thank the following patrons: PaulJPowers.com, Edwin Gonzalez, Artsy Steph, The Monster Island Film Vault. Did I already say Edwin?
No.
Edwin Gonzalez. If you would like to have your name shouted out on the show, some special art from Jacob, and uncut episodes, you can... No. Scratch that. If you would like to have your name shouted out on the show...
Shouted?
Nike. Hush, Deela. If you would like to have your name shouted out on the show, plus episodes of our Patreon exclusive show We're Just Super Saiyan, you can donate to our Patreon at the $1 level. At the $5 level, you can get uncut episodes of the Cellcast plus special art from Jacob. And for an additional $5 in 2027, you can force us to review a film of your choice within reason. And yeah, go do that. Also, check out our Redbubble store for stickers, t-shirts, and other various items. You can find links to all this stuff in our Linktree links in the description. And if you want to support us without spending any money, please rate, review, subscribe to us wherever you found us, and share us with your friends.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. 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 There is a song the good folks sing.
Batman the Animated Series.
Can you blow someone's ear out with that one?
Batman the Animated... You asked. Batman the Animated Series, Deep Freeze. First aired November 26, 1994. I've got to leave all this in now so they know why we're laughing.
Exactly.
Production episode 84, broadcast episode 80, written by Paul Dini and directed by Kevin Altieri. In this episode, Mr. Freeze is sprung from Arkham Asylum by the aging billionaire Grant Walker, aka Walt Disney, who is looking to freeze the world and acquire Mr. Freeze's own physique. Batman and Robin infiltrate the billionaire's underwater city and combat both high-tech robots and Mr. Freeze himself, who has no option but to do Walker's bidding and cover the Earth in a new ice age. New cast for this episode, we got Danny O'Heary as Grant Walker, aka Walt Disney, and Pat Fraley as the Batmite toy. Which threw me because I actually for a second thought, wait a minute, why is Batmite here?
Yeah. I love that part. Is oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's Batmite.
Wasn't expecting that because I didn't think this. I'd seen this episode recently and I didn't remember him. Trivia for this episode. As brought up before, the character of Dr. Rossum, voiced by William Sanderson, is approached in this episode by Batman and Robin for his knowledge and expertise in the field of robotics, as he came up before in Heart of Steel was the episode. Upon arriving at his office, they're greeted by a number of small robotic toy friends who keep Rossum company. This is an homage to the character of J.F. Sebastian from Blade Runner, in which J.F. is a genetic engineer who lives a life of solitude and creates toy-like robots to keep him company, which he also refers to as his friends. The character of J.F. Sebastian was also played by William Sanderson. Grant Walker, as I've stated many times already, is loosely modeled after Walt Disney, in that they are both theme park moguls who have built futuristic parks. Even the term Visioneer is a takeoff of Imagineer, the term Walt used to describe his imaginative engineers, who designed and built the attractions for Disneyland.
Or Epcot.
Well, definitely Epcot in this one.
Very much Epcot.
His desire for Mr. Freeze to preserve him so that he can live forever is likely a reference to the long-standing urban myth that Walt Disney's head was cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, not true, but
And
fun myth.
underneath Walt Disney World in the Utilidors somewhere. Some of the toys that Rossum created are shown to be a robot version of Crypto the Superdog, Streaky the Supercat, and Mr. Mitzelplick, along with Batmite.
Mitzelplick.
I said it close enough. And Grant Walker does not appear again in the DC animated universe. He does appear in several issues of the comic book Batman Gotham Adventures as the second Mr. Freeze. In those comics, Walker escapes the ice after several years of imprisonment, an experience which drives him insane and goes on a rampage.
Oh, that makes more sense now.
Including kidnapping a team of Wayne Enterprises scientists commissioned to find a cure for Freeze's condition.
Okay. That makes sense.
What are your thoughts on this very episode that makes Retro Rewind or Roy so happy that they're showing Disney in what he would consider his true colors?
One, I would just
Actually, I don't know what Francisco's thoughts are on Walt Disney, the man.
Yeah.
I just know what his opinions are on the company, and especially in recent years,
Fair.
and how he doesn't like most of their movies.
That's fair. I was going to say something until you said that. It was like, okay, never mind, because then we're just boiling up. Oh, it's true.
Apparently. I don't know much about Walt Disney, the man, other than what I've heard, and you can always mishear things.
Yeah, well, be like Walt Disney, be like, yeah, he, had his little, little freckles about things. Be like, yeah, he supported this. Be like, he didn't support this.
They're definitely. He was his age's Elon Musk.
Yes, he was.
For better or for worse.
Yeah, better or for worse. Be like, people have good sides, people have bad sides. Mm-hmm. Be like, you can't expect people to be like, oh, he's spitting shiny, that kind of character. But be like, overall, I do like this idea. Be like, you do kind of have like what we call now, an Elon Musk kind of character who is out to prolong his life, to kidnap a supervillain who again has only been in 2 episodes?
Is this the third? Yeah, this is the third.
Yeah,
because it was 2 episodes.
Yeah, 2 episodes. So apparently
we've been doing this for this show for nearly 2 years with one break. I can't be expected to remember everything.
Yeah, fair. Me either. But it's like the fact that he breaks out Mr. Freeze, which I thought was like, okay, that's clever with a robot. Mm-hmm. And which be like, again, it leads Batman and Robin to what's his face?
Rossum.
Who we met in the episode Heart of Steel. Amazing episode.
Was in the second episode follow up with the robot who thought he was Batman.
Yes. Again, another amazing episode. Makes you think about artificial intelligence, a whole enchilada. This one does too in some ways. Can a man truly live forever? No.
I would say this episode and the next one, despite them not being the final 2 broadcast episodes, really feel like they're wrapping up what they might have seen as the original Batman the Animated Series before it got a 4th season on another channel.
True. And a redesign, which is good, then really, really questionable in some ways. Mm-hmm. So this, I really enjoyed the almost like the question of the day. It's the fact that our main bad guy wants to live forever. And Freeze does pose the question. Yes. May live forever, but you'd be trapped in this icy prison forever. You'll never feel the warm hand of someone you love hand. You'll never feel the warmth of their touch. You'll be trapped forever. Is that worth immortality? And it reminds me so much of it's a young man who is trying to preserve his life. He's 30 years old and does all these ridiculous things every day, spending tens of thousands of money every day in order to preserve his life. And it makes me think, our life is fleeting. Be like in the Bible, it's gone like the wind. And it makes me think, it's the fact that we are so if you have a belief, if you have a faith in Jesus, you already have that eternity. It's just waiting on the other side. Mm-hmm. When you pass away from natural causes, or when Jesus comes back. So the idea you are longing for immortality, to live longer, to do more. Why don't you spend doing more of what God has called you to do rather than your own selfish desires? Now, I know not all people are going to believe that. Mm-hmm. I know that.
But this is kind of the thought process you do see with the mega rich, where
agreed.
They're more worried about making sure they can keep working and keep accomplishing and keep making money more than they are worried about what their life on this planet.
Yeah, they're more about the here and now. Yeah,
because don't get me wrong. I'm a space guy. I was a space kid growing up.
Yeah,
I
live long and prosper.
I was on my. I was going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs watching the Artemis 2 launch.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I checked. I was texting different places trying to see if anyone else was just as excited as I was. But at the same time, I ain't never going to the moon, much less. I'm never going to the moon, much less anywhere else in the universe. While I'm still living on this planet, it's nice to see us moving that way, and that's good for the economy and good for everything else. But let's face it, we know why people like Elon Musk and everyone are wanting to go to Mars, because they're convinced this planet's going up, is going up like a candle. Instead of them trying to improve the world, they're looking for a way to escape. Because if they escape, they can keep going. I can't follow the logic, because to me, it's much more important to be with family and friends and to do right by your fellow man. That's what makes you human.
Very true.
But
again, be like,
like I said, I don't know. I know I called Walt Disney the Elon Musk of his day, and that's probably more true than I have than I know. But at the same time, I know he did care for his family.
He did,
from what I understand, or at least
he cared for his coworkers,
or at least the publicity has made it seem that way.
I know he actually did really care for his family. He really did.
So I can't really. I don't want to throw him too far under the bus, but
no.
But this guy, as much as he's obviously based on Walt Disney as a
tycoon,
a trope,
yeah,
as an archetype. That's what I'm looking for.
That's it.
While he's based on Disney as an archetype, I don't think he's based on him as an actual person.
No,
and this guy is definitely much more about, I want to live forever.
Yeah,
because I should be one of the ones who does. Yeah, because. Because there's one thing you can say Disney did not do in his search for a experimental town of tomorrow. I can't remember the whole name of that
prototype.
Experiment with his experimental prototype world of tomorrow or community of tomorrow.
Yeah,
he wasn't going to destroy the rest of the world once it got built. Yeah, which this guy was. Yeah, this guy was obviously off of his rocker, because he had to be the supervillain of the episode, because at this point we only know Freeze is so much of a sympathetic villain that he can't be a full-on villain without. That's the reason why the movie Sub-Zero, which takes place right after this.
Yeah, that's what I gathered.
They had to tie his story up before they moved on, which I know when we get to the Mr. Freeze episode in season 4, it's going to make me mad again.
Because it's Mr. Freeze episode.
Because Mr. Freeze's story was done in Sub-Zero, and they brought it back for no discernible reason. But we'll see. We'll get there when we get there. It's not that far into our episode list.
Oh, just wait until you get to Batman Beyond. I'm just saying.
That's a different. That's a character that's different at that point. As I know it's the same guy because he can't die, but he's had a lot of years to change over time. This Mr. Freeze. He is physically the same Mr. Freeze as this guy, but he's a lot different character in terms of where he's gone.
Okay.
Because I kind of know what happened to Batman, what Mr. Freeze and Batman Beyond.
Okay.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, moving on.
Brain fart. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. I loved how Mr. Freeze, we got another continuation of his story. It really does cap off in the movie Sub-Zero.
It does.
And if we had been planning to intercut the movies, it would have been perfect. It would have come in right after our next episode, which is Batgirl Returns, which first aired November 12th, 1994. It was production episode 85 and broadcast episode 78. In this episode, Barbara Gordon has given up her double life as Batgirl. That is, until a rare cat statue is stolen from her university museum. All clues point to Catwoman as the thief, because it was a cat. But when Batgirl investigates, she makes an unlikely alliance with Catwoman in order to find the criminal mastermind behind it all. All this while Robin has to deal with the situation all alone as Batman is out of town. New characters in this one, we've got Roger Pose as Gilbert Patrolman and Scott Valentine as the chemist. Trivia, although the episode The Lion and the Unicorn was the last episode that aired, this was the last episode produced for Fox Kids. Following this episode, it would get a season 4 basically on Kids WB.
Correct. As
the new Batman adventures. They will do a art style change in order to match what was happening with the Superman the animated series that was going on there. Roland Daggett is featured for the very last time in this episode.
Yes.
Daggett never made another appearance in any other DC animated universe show. The episode's title, Batgirl Returns, pays homage to Batman Returns, 1992. This episode also has Catwoman as one of the main villains and briefly shows the Penguin, who both appeared in Batman Returns. After Robin scolds Batgirl for interfering with the retrieval of the Jade Cat, Batgirl calls Robin a dork behind his back.
Yes.
Batgirl also did the exact same thing in Shadow of the Bat Part 2. And aside from a dream sequence in the opening scene, this is a rare episode where Batman does not officially appear. Bruce Wayne appears only in one scene, apparently on a business trip in Paris, France, not Venice.
Touché.
One interesting thing about this episode, since it's not really meant to be the last episode, it's meant to be... It was the last one made, but they were not necessarily going to be broadcast in this order, is the fact that it has so many callbacks to older episodes of the show, dealing with both Catwoman and Batgirl's past and different things. Like, I'm sitting there going, okay, now you're mentioning Daggett and Clayface. That was a surprise. I was waiting while they were in the chemical plant for Joker to just come waltzing out and going, "Hey, isn't this the chemical bath I fell in that turned me into the Joker?" I was expecting that at some point because there's so many other callbacks, or Two-Face, or anybody else. It's like, how many more callbacks are you going to throw into this? But it was a nice. It felt like, since this is the last one that they made, this did feel like if they had not made season 4, this would have been a good last episode to go out on.
Okay,
and I appreciated it for that. It felt like it was a series finale, wrapping up the show as best it could, because these were not very continuity heavy episodes. Fair. There were callbacks. But I mean, you did not have to watch these in any order except for the 2-parters. Yeah. You obviously have to watch those in the right order.
Right.
But I thought this was a very good, fun episode. It was a nice Batgirl episode. I kind of wish we got more Batgirl episodes in this era.
True.
Because apparently this was also the last time this actress played Batgirl.
Really?
Because it gets changed starting in Sub-Zero. At least that was what I saw on something else.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I enjoyed this one. It was a fun. I knew the minute that it was a Jade Cat that it was going to be Catwoman that was going to be heavily involved. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if she was going to talk for a bit because it really felt like, wait a minute, wasn't one of her episodes? Didn't I mention that this was her last time in it? At least that was what was going on in my memory. It's like, oh, I must have had that wrong because she does talk all the way through it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought it was a great story. It was nice not having Batman being there and having it just be, if you pardon the term, the B team. Because so much of this show is Batman by himself. It's nice seeing Batgirl and Robin being the main people here.
Fair.
For most of this. And plus, considering Nightwing is going to be in the next show, it's nice to see Robin working on his own.
Fair.
As a setup for that. So... What are your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I did like the dream sequence because it does more allude that, Batgirl does have a attraction to the Dark Knight. She does.
She's human.
And then she has the boy Wonder, who just does tickle her. He does like her, but she doesn't really like him in some ways. Mm-hmm. But I do love the moment where it's like, the moment just before Dick wakes her up, and it's like it's so good. It's got this very romantic, and then it morphs into this, the very end of the series where the animation, the expression has gotten more outlandish, which I really enjoy. It's like, hey, Babs, wake up. And I was like, oh, that's great. I love it. Definitely how they animate Batman's facial expressions. I love it. I love this. Be like, there's so much inspiration going on here, like artistically for me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, once I be like, and plus be like kind of a side note on this, I recently learned that one of my more recent favorite artists right now, Dan Mora, was so heavily influenced by Batman the Animated Series and his artwork. I'm like, now I see it. Anyways, I really enjoyed this episode because, again, it's a Barbara episode. It's a Batgirl episode. And I really enjoy it because Batman isn't it? He's in the very beginning as a flash, as a dream. And it is just, it's great because Robin shows up and he really kind of helps, but he doesn't really help. It's more of a, Batgirl figuring it out. And Catwoman kind of pulling her along and everything like that. I really enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun. And it was like Daggett because of course, Catwoman has a vendetta against him. Because again, I think the last time we saw Selina Kyle,
it was when she was turned into a literal Catwoman.
No,
it was last time she saw him.
Yeah,
last time we saw Daggett.
Yeah, last time we saw Daggett. The previous episode, she was trying to go straight, and she wanted to, going back to the skin tight soup and the whip. But with this one, it's like okay, what has she been doing this whole time? And of course, she's using her her sense of persuasion to get Batgirl to follow her because again, Batgirl is she's a very intelligent young lady who's in college, and she is just being suckered by this very intelligent woman who is oh, okay, yeah, I'll be like, yeah, we can help each other, and be like, and I do love the fact that Robin does point out, be like, yeah, you were pinning her the entire time, be like, was she? Be like, yeah, Batgirl's intelligent. Barbara is a very intelligent young lady, but the fact that probably Catwoman's a little smarter than she is. Just saying.
Yeah.
And I think it was more be like she got pulled into her little web and got tangled into it, and she didn't quite see what everything was going on. She had a little bit she knew a little bit, but she didn't know the entire story.
Would you say that's because Catwoman is smarter than the average bat?
A rat with wings.
Hey, I was trying to rhyme.
Yeah, you were. But it's like, yeah, the fact to be like Catwoman is always able to get out of her situations because she is a cat. Not literally a cat in Batman Returns. Because she literally has
I would argue Batman Returns is not the worst portrayal of Catwoman.
No, you're not kidding. Catwoman was worse.
Because of Halle Berry.
Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even say it was the writing in that movie was so horrific. I watched it once on a date. Never again.
I was hoping you were going to say Dare.
No, it was on a date. It was so bad. It ruined the entire date. It was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this again. No, you have terrible sense of taste. Be like, I enjoy her company, this young lady that I went on this one date with, but it was such a poor taste in movies. Like, I can't do this. But either or, I really enjoyed it. Again, it's a Catwoman episode. It's a Barbara Batgirl episode. Robin is just, he's being Dick Grayson. Yeah, he's being Dick. And it'd be like he's being like a little brother than like more of what I think Barbara would want him to be, or what vice versa or whatever, because there's a lot of more of this romantic tension throughout this entire episode, and people persuading people to do this and do this, and I like the dynamics of everything because you have Barbara, and then you have Selina, and then you have Dick, who's trying to, because I don't know what Dick Grayson thinks of Barbara. Be like, they're dating at one point, and then he's treating her more like a little sister, And it's kind of a weird dynamic. I don't know what it is, but to go back to my point, I really enjoy this episode. And I really enjoy when it's a Batgirl episode. I really do. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So with Lion King on that crossover episode, we'll technically be starting the new Batman adventures.
Yes.
With the episodes Holiday Nights and Sins of the Father.
Yeah.
And I would like to know how we ended up getting Francisco on both of the Christmas episodes.
Oh. Then I got to put a Christmas cap on somebody.
I assume Holiday Nights is a Christmas episode.
Yeah, Holiday Nights is a Christmas episode.
So join us Tuesday for that, along with, of course, The Lion King. But in the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
To follow Jacob and Drew's individual internet exploits, check out the Linktree links in the show notes. You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter or X at @cast_cell. Follow our Facebook page, The Cellcast Podcast, and join our Facebook group, The Cell Nation, our YouTube channel, Cellcast, and our Rumble channel, The Cellcast Gaming. You can join us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for our live recordings of our episodes on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. You can also join Drew on those same streaming channels on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central for gaming streams. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts can be downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. Our bad movie theme is It's Party Time by Gregory Snegoff, with additional audio from the film Titanic: The Legend Goes On, and remember, that's Cell with a single L.
I was looking for the picking basket, and I got this jade cat. Me like, I was looking for food, not a cat.
Oh, what a wonderful feeling to be fancy. Never mind.